Let's play some Goobies. We are going to revisit one of the most requested runs, builds that I've had since started making videos, and that is Dizzy's Balls. I don't know exactly what else we'll pair with it. We're probably not going to do many dissolves. Maybe we can mess around with the essences as well. I don't think that will distract from the potential of the Dizzy's Balls very much. We can take an on death effect, right? That's barely cheating. So Wildfire will be our on death. Hopefully we can actually get Dizzy's Balls pretty soon though. Or else the whole run will be invalidated. I'm gonna grab the Imam, I think. Get one of each going on. Probably was more powerful for us to take the second Ziggurat. But let's spread out our stiffs. Getting a lot of these sapphires early on. I mean, do I even have to say it? So far this is just an accidental Spirit of Mumza run, which we love around here. And it is absolutely not a Dizzy's Balls run. With these upgrades we've been getting, I don't even know if it's worthwhile to do the Dizzy's Balls now. Like, do we just full pivot? Let's see what we get through the rest of this map. A lot of Mumzas. I mean, it's almost comical. The game loves giving us that upgrade. It loves giving us Spirit of Mumza. Alright, what do we want out of here? Probably just crit. Crit is pretty much always a good option. Especially when you don't have damage numbers on. Should I turn the damage numbers back on? I kind of turned them off during one of the runs and just never bothered turning them back on. We just assume that we're doing a lot of damage. Was that Mumza number 5 right there? I don't know why this game wants us to take that upgrade so much. Is it like I think that the devs have modded my game to like triple the odds of Spirit of Mumza showing up. Like I think they're watching. They know that they can just go and manipulate the game so that we always get Spirit of Mumza. Like that's 7 in the first map. Dizzy's Balls I think is officially over for this run. Like, what are we doing here? If we have 7 Mumzas, like we're doing a Mumza run. Now the big question is, can we get anything else to kind of pair with this? Do we want 1,000 needles? I think I'd prefer actually having chain or pierce than 1,000 needles. Your initial attack will fork into 2 weaker projectiles. You know what? Let's just take it. Who's the real Mumza? 60% attack speed. That is pretty amazing for early on. Let's just keep moving. I want the boss wheels. I don't want to farm XP after the boss is dead. So we're on the second map. If we see a tree hugger, should we take it? Should tree hugger just be like a mandatory take in these runs? Ooh, I like this. So Dizzy's balls, not happening. I know we were saying we were going Dizzy's balls. It's not happening. We're moving on. We're going all in on Amam, Zigrid, and Mumza. Is that a good idea? Probably not. You know, now that we've pivoted away from Dizzy's balls, it's probably all we're gonna see. And you know what? Maybe we'll still take some if we don't get any of the soul essence spirits offered to us. The longer I play this game, the more it bothers me that each one of those upgrades has a different name. Like, why can't they all just be spirit of blank? One pierce, that's super awesome, actually. We really like that. I think I'm taking the fractured sapphire here. I don't think we need to go too wild on death effects. And I feel like the game inevitably gives us one of these in a roulette wheel at some point. Like when it's time for us to upgrade the on death effects, the game is going to just give us like a ×2 wildfire. That's just what the game does. I really hope that we get a couple more Soul of Amams. Because I want to see what it's like when you have like 4 or 5 of the upgrades of it. Like, this is out of control. 10 Mumzas. We don't have any capsules, so our speed isn't ridiculous, but I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, of course we're going to take it. 11 Mumzas. What was our world record for Mumzas? Was it 12? 10? I don't remember. I'm going to have to go back and check the video to see if we just set another world record. Goobies world record. Somebody phone up Guinness. And we need them to witness this world record that we are in the process of setting. This thing does a boatload of damage. I don't know if it procs enough to be useful, but that is a lot of damage that it does. What do we take here? Do we want the mass? I don't think we want the mass. Let's take the chain. I'm still not convinced that chain and pierce work properly together. But what's the harm in having just a little bit of everything? And we all know later on there's just going to be a disturbing amount of enemies. So if we're piercing, we're chaining, whatever the game wants us to do, we're cool with it. I think we take the yellow sapphire. We have a little bit of movement speed going on. So it's got to be good. Is this an accidentally good build that we're doing, or accidentally terrible? Some more 1,000 needles. You know what? I'm cool with that. I want to take the brisk capsule. I can't do it. I can't do it. I need to stay in control. We're taking the chain. Our projectiles seem like they're penetrating reasonably well right now. So we don't have like the on death effects going berserk or anything. It looks like our Mumza run has come to an end. The game has decided that the number that we're going to play with is 11. And I think that's all right. 11 of these old Mumzas. I really, really want to get more of these Soul of a Moms. I want to know, are they actually good if you get like 4 or 5 of them? I don't think we need any more of these soft blobs. I'm just going to take the sapphire. So what would be a successful run here? Like, how deep do we need to make it for this to be a success? I've been saying like 30 minutes on these challenge runs is, I consider that a success, but the longer we do them, the less I feel that that is adequate. Even though that this Dizzy's Balls challenge run that we're currently doing has no Dizzy's Balls and turned into a completely different challenge. We're back on the Mumza train, baby. Let's keep this train rolling. Oh, we're so slow when the Mumza hasn't triggered. Ran directly into that boss. I definitely have more fun when we're not doing Tree Hugger. I don't know why that is. I know it's a super powerful upgrade and can like make these builds go absolutely wild with the free level ups, but I just don't like it as much. Oh, do I have to do the brisk capsule? Let's do spikes or blobberang. You know what? Just because we're idiots here at Slade by Gaming, we're going blobberang. Who knows? Maybe this is the run that makes blobberang a thing. Maybe the key is like you need like a dozen Mumzas, and then that gets blobberang to a point where it's just okay. We're unfortunately a little bit too deep into the levels to actually have a legitimate shot of maxing out the old blobberang. Alright, where are these bosses at? Here's this big boy boss. Some crit damage. I think we got to do the crushed ruby here. As much as I would like to just keep pumping into the million needles, the crushed ruby is just too much power to pass up. I don't think I'm a fan of the mini bosses dropping the orbs now. I think I preferred it when you just kick into the roulette wheel. Sometimes I use that as an indicator that you actually killed the mini boss. Oh, I like this. This will be our 4th Soul of a Bomb. 136 base damage. Oh, it's up to. Oh, I thought it was 136 and then scaled from there. So that is not as good as I thought. But oh well, we should be shooting them off everywhere. They have to at least do something. I believe that is a skill tagged AoE, so does it blow up at the end? Let's see if we can like chase one of these and actually watch. I don't think that one exploded. That one didn't explode. What you got for us, game? 40% crit damage? Well, we need crit chance to actually make that good. Let's get out of here. What is our crit chance? 52%. In Goobies, in the realm of Goobies, not good enough. I mean, this is what we should take. This is what we're going to take. 13 Mumzas. I think that's a confirmed world record. No one's ever going to beat that world record. Our Blobberang is just ridiculously powerful right now. Look at them. These Blobberangs are just mowing through enemies. We could have like, potentially, we could end up doing like over 100,000 damage with Blobberang this run, which is absolutely wild. The 5% AoE, kind of bad at this point. Are we getting close to the point where we need the game to give us a wildfire upgrade? Potentially? We're definitely not going to have like an hour plus run here, just because how fast we're moving. Now this isn't the fastest Goobie we've ever created, but it's fast enough that when there's enemies like absolutely everywhere, that we're just not going to be in control. 5% crit chance, we take that for sure. What are we doing on this one? Do we want another Pierce? Do we want to take the Spike? So the interesting question is, does the Mumza boost like the damage of these spikes? You know what, let's just take the spikes. I don't think we get a ton out of that additional Pierce. Like we've got enough Pierce and chain going on that I think we're okay on that front. Take them spikes. See if we can make spikes a thing. Spikes and Blobberangs, the accidental MVPs. Well, and there we go. There we got two more Pierce. I think we got to take this Pristine Sapphire. It's just a lot of damage. I kind of want to turn the damage numbers on. Should I do it? Do we have a magnet somewhere? Do we not leave a magnet on there? Oh, there we go. Got the magnet and out. We're doing like some different attack patterns here. See if the enemy can figure us out. Not a chance. 10% crit chance? Yes! We're in a satisfactory crit area now. Not good, just satisfactory. Good is 100%. But we're at like, I think 67, yeah, 67% now. And hopefully we can kick that up to 100 before the end of the run. Oh, double boss is here. Our boss damage just feels okay. Nothing amazing or anything like that. Salvaged energy feels a little bit too cheaty, so we shall take Million Needles. 1 halo? Game, we don't need no stinking halos. After the update, nobody wants halos anymore, okay? Halos were only fun when it was bugged. Now you just only use Halo when you're about to die. And it just is not fast enough to actually save you. Oh, we got the big boys now. We seem like we're just doing okay on them. Nothing incredible. Gotta do it. 14. I should really start taking some capsules. I hope that this boss roulette wheel just gives us 4 capsules so that we can no longer control our character. 2 sonic howls. I don't think that'll be very useful. Maybe it'll be okay. I mean, it's probably going to do a lot of damage just from the Mumza boost. Everything that we're doing is going to do a lot of damage just thanks to Mumza. It's like look at this. All damage dealt is increased by 42. So we probably... like this million needles might be like the best upgrade in the game right now. Because it splits into 6 projectiles. If they all deal an additional 42 damage, that's got to be pretty strong, right? We'll kind of get backed into a corner when we got these big guys. What do we take here? I guess we just take the thick hide. I don't want any of this other stuff. Don't want that junk. Get that out of here. Well, feels pretty good setting the world record for most Mumzas in a run. It's not what we set out to do today, but it's what we've done. And like, it's always a good day when you go to bed at night knowing that you set a new world record. You're the best in the world. I'm the best in the world at getting Mumza upgrades. That's a fact. Kind of ridiculous to get 14 of any upgrade. If we had got 14 dizzy balls this run, that would have been pretty good. Nice little damage multi. 30% crit chance. At this point, we'll take that because we've been lacking big time on the crit. And I believe that throws us up to 97% chance. Look at our movement speed. What happens if we take some capsules? I really hope that the game roulette wheels us some capsules. That would be incredible. Every time there's a mini boss, it's a chance for our build to potentially get more ridiculous. This is not the time. I would like to get at least a level 50 here on this run. I don't know if we're going to quite get there. I can kind of feel the build beginning to slow down. I mean, not movement speed wise, that just continues to increase. But our damage clear does not seem perfect anymore. Do we just take the chain? I feel like it does nothing at this point. We'll take the thick hide. Maybe that makes our run last potentially like 2 seconds longer. And those 2 seconds, that could be the 15th Mumza. It just doesn't seem like we have anything impressive going on the screen. Like everything's kind of just working, but we don't have any like massive chain explosion or anything like that. It's kind of interesting. All we have is a ridiculous Mumza. And a lot of projectiles that fork off of our projectile. One tree hugger. Why couldn't you give us a ×2 for that one? And then we could just go into tree hugging mode for the next 5 or 10 minutes. Wonder what our actual movement speed is when we've triggered the Mumzas. It's like if we hit tab, it just says 9.125, but we're very clearly moving faster than that. We got to be more closer to like a 25 or a 30. I think I'm going to take the slash. I feel like that can help us potentially at this point. So we got a lot of things critting. Presumably all for an extra 42 damage. That is getting multiplied by our crit multiplier. We like those numbers. It feels so awkward when the Mumza's not triggered. Just have like a moment where it feels like my character is just moving it through quicksand. Mom, I gotta figure out how to get down to you. Oh, right in the middle of that pack? Well, something absolutely deleted the boss. And there we go. Like I said, when the game wants us to have more wildfire, it will give us more wildfire. Well, we're going to make 40 minutes here. And I'm going to call that a success. I do think it would be nice to make it to level 50. Just for 4 more chances at Mumza. But I'm just not sure that we're going to make it that far. And that's alright. This was a pretty decent build. Not so far from what we intended we started out as. Very interested to see what the Soul of a Mom damage numbers are at the very end. That is not a Mumza. Well, we're definitely not crushing through the big boss back. The big armored boys. How did we blow that one boss up so hard? Like, what hit on the boss? More chains? Yeah, really hard to figure out how all of the projectile altering things interact. Like visually, we can see that there's some chains going on and what I presume to be splits or like the forks for the million needles. But like, I don't know if we're seeing any piercing or not. It's so hard to tell. I have to like watch in slow-mo. Because you'd like to think that they all work. Like, it projectiles, it chains, it forks, all of that. But there's got to be like an order of priority that we are not aware of. Really not noticing the wildfire like at all, which is kind of weird because like we have like 4 upgrades on it now. Like that should be a noticeable amount. Oh, did we get like the Yes, so we got the deals damage to things that hit us on the thick hide, which is not a Mumza. And that's sad. Like, it's bizarre that we've had like multiple runs where we've ended up with like 10 Mumsas now. At some point we have to give up on the Mumsa meme, but today is not that day. Today that got us a world record. World record. That's a big deal. And I mean, this one might never get beaten. This could be a record for life, I think. Something deleted that boss for us. The power of positive thinking, maybe. Let's just hit up the wildfire, I guess. I don't know if that was our best choice or not, but it is the choice we made. There's no way that this build eclipses an hour, right? Like, we die in the next map or two. It would be super hilarious if we make it to an hour. But we're getting backed into the corner pretty good here on this map. We have a massive combo going. Too bad we did not take that salvaged energy. This is 13k combo, 14k combo. Keep it going. Oh, it ended. I think we were just under 15k. It does show us what the high combo was at the end of the run. So even though we were kind of getting backed into a corner, we are killing things. That's maybe a level. Zigrid level 2. That's a run saver right there. Look how many meteors are falling from the sky. I saw one in that whole exchange. Because it seems so hard to get Zigrid and a mom upgrades, I just don't think that they're like actually viable options. I do think that Soul of a Mom is going to have done a lot of damage at the end of this run. But, you know, it just wasn't that amazing. We needed that for 2 strange fruit. Huzzah! What do we need to make it through 2 more maps? We basically need to clear this map and then survive to make it to an hour. I don't know, that last map was pretty sketchy. So I just don't know if we got the juice for it. We got the speed for it though. We are still just like slowly mowing through these enemies. Oh, we gotta level up. That's a bad level up. We shall take the spiky hide. Give us something good. Double black hole. So we learned that black hole only gets good when you absolutely max it out. And we have not maxed it out. We are actually really close though. That could potentially be an actual run saver and not a me just making that joke upon getting a useless upgrade late in a run. Okay, boss, what you got? Ooh. Some more attack speed. We don't mind attack speed. Perfectly acceptable. These charging guys, not perfectly acceptable. Too scary. Look how scary these guys are. They almost took us out twice in a row. Oh, we got to get our Nikes on here. Make sure we're dodging. Never stood a chance. I believe that we're at 97% crit, so we will take that. But from now on, crit chance gets dissolved. Boop. When the Mumza wears off, we're just so slow. So we'll probably have to make it to the boss here to get to the 1 hour. Which I'd say is pretty impressive for what we've got going on. Those guys really wanted to kill us there. Oops. We kind of need a little bit of space behind us to dodge backwards on those big, or the charging packs, the armored chargers. And I definitely just took too much damage from just standing in red circles. We even had to push back a little bit on that pack. That's not good. Oh, we're getting pushed into a corner. We're going for it. Oh, not going for it. I wanted to make a breakaway. We need to live. Get us to the 1 hour marker game. Give us something glorious on the wheel. Is the Sonic Howl the thing that puts us over the top? Now this is decisions. This one very clearly the best upgrade. This one very clearly the worst upgrade. We shall take it. Blobberang. Oh no, I did some bad controlling there. We took some damage. We got another mini boss. We gotta take this mini boss out. Ooh. Double citrine. Okay, can we actually slay Gaia though? Can we make Gaia slay themselves? Oh, we were victorious. Crit chance? Dissolved. Magnet, and we're gone. Okay, don't get trapped by chargers at the start of the map. Look at this little dude. That's the first guy we encounter? This mega pack spawning in the ocean, that feels like cheating. Crit damage? Absolutely, we take that. I think that this game would be really interesting if you could like double crit. If you had 200% crit, you just did double damage crits. Oh no! Oh! I don't know if we made it to the hour marker or not. We were like right on the cusp. All right, let's look at our damage here. I'm actually interested. So the base projectile, 74 million. That is substantial. You know, we've had a lot longer runs where we did less projectile damage. Ziggurat only did 1 million, but we only had 2 upgrades there. 71 million on Wildfire, as expected. That did not bad. 25 million on Soul of a Mom. Now, it would be nice to get that a little higher, but not really possible. Blubberang, over 1 million. Impressive. The 1 level of spikes did more than the Blubberang. Pretty funny. 20 million on the Black Hole. 1 million on the Howl. 8.4 on the Slash. I had a blast playing, setting the world record for 14 Spirit of Mumzas. This will go down in history of one of the greatest Goobie runs of all time. And I'm out.